September 21st, 1989, began as a normal school morning in the Rio Grande Valley. In Mission, Texas, the air was already warm before sunrise, humidity hanging low over flat farmland. For dozens of families, this morning felt no different from any other. Children ate breakfast, grabbed backpacks, and stepped outside to wait for the bus. Mission was a close knit community where many families had lived for generations. Agriculture dominated the landscape, citrus groves, vegetable fields, and irrigation canals crisscrossed the area. Deep caliche pits, excavated for road construction material, dotted the region. These water filled pits were so common that they blended into the background of everyday life, unremarkable and unprotected. The students boarding bus number 6 that morning were part of Mission Consolidated Independent School District, serving working class families from Alton, one of the poorest areas of the district. 81 junior high and high school students, ages 12 to 19, climbed aboard for what should have been a routine commute. Bus driver Gilberto Pena knew many of them by nickname. The bus followed its usual route along Farm to Market Road 676, heading toward the intersection at Bryan Road. Just past the crossing sat a caliche pit, about 40 feet deep and filled with 10 feet of water from years of accumulated rain. There were no guardrails, no fencing, no warning signs. The pit sat dangerously close to the roadway, completely unprotected. Around 7:34 a.m., as the bus slowed to cross the intersection, a Dr. Pepper delivery truck approached from behind. The truck, operated by Valley Coca-Cola Bottling Company and driven by 25-year-old Ruben Perez, was heavily loaded and traveling north on Bryan Road. What happened next would change everything. The truck missed the stop sign and slammed into the side of the school bus with devastating force. The impact knocked the bus off course, sending it over the edge of the pit. The vehicle plunged approximately 40 feet, hitting the water nose first before rolling onto its side. Within 30 to 60 seconds, the bus was completely submerged under 10 feet of muddy water. Inside, chaos erupted. Students were thrown against seats and metal poles. Water poured in through broken windows, the dislodged windshield, and the damaged front door. The interior went dark as silt clouded the water. With the bus on its side, seats became vertical obstacles and the aisle turned into a wall. Panic spread as students realized they were trapped. The bus had only two exits, the front door, which was jammed, and the rear emergency exit. Many students were pinned in the center of the bus, far from any escape route. Some tried to push windows open, but water pressure made them immovable. A few managed to break windows or squeeze through small openings. Above the surface, bystanders and early responders dove repeatedly into the murky water. U.S. Border Patrol agents and firefighters from across the Rio Grande Valley rushed to the scene, 125 emergency vehicles in total. Rescuers worked blindly, pulling survivors from broken windows while desperately searching for others still trapped inside. Parents began arriving, screaming names into the air, scanning faces wrapped in blankets on the shore. Emergency responders performed CPR on wet pavement. Ambulances lined the road, but as minutes passed, rescue turned to recovery. By day's end, 19 children were dead. Two more would die in hospitals from complications, bringing the final death toll to 21. All died from drowning. 60 others were injured. Both drivers survived. Mission fell into immediate mourning. Schools closed. Churches held vigils. An estimated 10,000 people, nearly triple Alton's population, filled the football stadium for a memorial service where the scheduled Friday night game had been canceled. The investigation revealed multiple failures. The National Transportation Safety Board concluded that the truck driver had failed to stop at the intersection, though Perez claimed brake failure. NTSB investigators found no evidence of brake problems. In 1993, after 4 years, Perez was acquitted on all 21 counts of criminally negligent homicide. But the crash itself shouldn't have been fatal. Investigators emphasized that the unprotected caliche pit turned a survivable collision into a mass drowning. The pit had no barriers, despite being next to a busy road used daily by school buses. Legal action followed swiftly. The bottling company paid $133 million in settlements, $4.5 million per deceased child. Bluebird Body Company paid $23 million more. Injured students received between $500,000 and $900,000. Attorneys took approximately $50 million. The sudden influx of money divided the community. Large houses appeared in Alton. Families bought new cars and took vacations. Lawyers were accused of ambulance chasing, with some approaching families at hospitals and morgues. At least 5 people, including 4 attorneys, were charged with barratry, illegal client solicitation. In a tragic footnote, 2 survivors died 3 years later in a cocaine and alcohol fueled crash in a new sports car purchased with settlement money. But lasting change also emerged. In 1991, Texas legislators passed a law requiring guardrails around open pits near roadways, enforced with $10,000 fines. In May 1990, guardrails were installed at the crash site and around other area pits. Nationally, school bus safety standards transformed. Buses gained additional roof hatches, side exits, and larger windows designed to break away more easily. Rear emergency exits were redesigned to open regardless of the bus's position. The limited evacuation options exposed by this crash led to requirements that buses have multiple emergency exits. Alton Memorial Junior High School opened in 2003, dedicated to the 21 victims. A memorial park funded by a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant features 21 crosses and statue of Jesus Christ at the intersection where the crash occurred. Every September 21st, Mission CISD holds district-wide moments of remembrance. The Alton bus crash remains the deadliest school bus accident in Texas history. It inspired the 1991 novel The Sweet Hereafter, later adapted into a 1997 film. The tragedy serves as a permanent reminder that safety isn't just about what happens on the road, it's about what exists beside it. 21 children left for school one morning and never came home. Their deaths forced a nation to confront infrastructure, dangers it had overlooked for too long. Because of that September morning, laws changed, buses changed, and countless lives since have been saved. Thank you for watching. If you found this story meaningful, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments.